On to chapter 16. The birth of Ishmael. But Sarai, Abram's wife, had no children. So Sarah took her servant, an Egyptian woman named Hagar, and gave her to Abram so he could bear children. "The Lord has kept me from having any children," Sarai said to Abram. "Go to sleep with my servant. Perhaps I can have children through her." And Abram agreed. That's the problem. The Lord had a plan for him, and he didn't listen. He listened to his wife. You can have a husband, you can have a wife, but God's first, right? In this, God is first, and then your wife. So if your wife is telling you to do something, I guess you do it. But if God said, this is big as childbirth, so go to sleep with my servant, and Abram agreed. So Sarah, Abram's wife, took Hagar, the Egyptian servant, and gave her to Abram as a wife. This happened 10 years after Abram first arrived in the land of Canaan. So Abram slept with Hagar, and she became pregnant. When Hagar knew she was pregnant, she began to treat her mistress Sarai with contempt. Then Sarai said to Abram, "It's all your fault. Now this servant of mine is pregnant, and she despises me. Though I myself gave her the privilege of sleeping with you, the Lord will make you pay for doing this to me." What an interesting thing. That's a woman right there, I guess. Not all women, but I'm just saying, like, or any person. That I misspoke there. I'm sorry. But she was tricking him. She was kind of tricky. Like, it's your fault. It's all your fault. And she may have been just upset that she did that, and she just was saying stuff, out of the blue, because she kind of knew, but she was like, I'm gonna make the Lord pay for this. The Lord's gonna pay you for this. Abram replied, "Since she is your servant, you may deal with her as you see fit." So Sarah treated her harshly, and Hagar ran away. The angel of the Lord found Hagar beside a desert spring along the road to Shur. The angel of the Lord. Isn't that interesting? I think that's the first we've heard that. The angel said to her, "Hagar, Sarah's servant, where have you come from, and where are you going?" "I am running away from my mistress," she replied. Then the angel of the Lord said, "Return to your mistress and submit to her authority." The angel added, "I will give you more descendants than you can count." And the angel also said, "You are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard about your misery." It's interesting growing up in church and just living a certain way. But you hear about the mistress and all this stuff, and it's messy, and the Lord is still there. Like, the Lord is still going to provide. The Lord is still going to be in their lives, no matter what. So, we're all trying to do the best we can on this earth. The Lord knows we have awful thoughts, So, put yourself out there, I guess, is the way to do it, but in a moral way, because it'll make your life easier. But I lost track of where I was. Return to the mistress. The angel added, "I give you more descendants than you can count." And the angel also said, "You are now pregnant and will give birth to a son. You are to name him Ishmael, for the Lord has heard about your misery. This son of yours will be a wild one, free and untamed as a wild donkey. He will be against everyone, and everyone will be against him. Yes, he will live at odds with the rest of his brothers. And that's another thing. God may be with you and want what's best for you, but he's not going to make it easy. If you go down the wrong path, he's going to try to test you in things. In this case, he's making the child a wild one, just his personality. So that's interesting. Therefore, Hagar referred to the Lord who had spoken to her. Therefore, Hagar referred to the Lord who had spoken to her as the God who sees me. For she said, I have seen the one who sees me. So she named God the one who sees her. So it's like, it's not God, it's the one who sees her. Later that well was named Beer Shehorai, and it can still be found between Kadesh and Bered. So Hagar gave Abraham a son, and Abram named him Ishmael. Abram was 88 years old at the time. So you think about that, 88 years old, and he still didn't have a kid, and he was probably wondering, like, did God forget about me? What's happening? But it wasn't in God's timing for him to have a child yet. So they just took it into their own hands, So God's time is not our timing, and we have to remember that constantly and daily. There's things I'm working through right now that I've been working through for a really, really, really long time. And it makes me tear up just thinking about it. But I'm gonna keep grinding and keep working, because it's difficult for me to live on my own these days. But I'm doing it, and I'm trying different ways to quote unquote be normal in life. Because I can, my natural state is to travel, go this, go that, go this, and not have a soul, a group, a community at all. I've never so I'm trying to do the community thing, and it's so difficult trying to find community. But I feel like God's timing is interesting, and I feel like he wants me in community, and I've turned off my phone and started just really listening to what God wants from me. And maybe it's not what God wants from me, maybe it's my own thoughts. But I'm getting there. I feel like the phone is a distraction to life. So I've been trying to just wean off the phone. I got a report the other day, actually today, that I was on my phone an hour and 50 minutes less than last week. So that is progress. That's all I got for this chapter. Just remember, your timing is not God's timing. And yes, you may die tomorrow, but just keep grinding. I don't know. It's just, it's a complicated life. You may never know what God wants from you. But at least try, All right. Have a good day.